Australia's second oldest historical site is neglected, and I would have to say it is deliberately and continually abused. In November 1995, after supposed consultation with the wider community, which did not occur, Ray Groom, the Liberal Premier of Tasmania, handed the site of the first British settlement in Tasmania to radical Aboriginal activist Michael Mansell and the Tasmania Aboriginal Council. Should never have been done. The unveiling of the Bowen Monument by the Governor of Tasmania, the Albury family, who then owned the land on which the memorial was erected, handed the deeds to the Governor so the site could be given to Tasmanians forever. The Governor thanked the family and physically handed the deeds in turn to the then Premier, who accepted them on that proviso. The Groom government and the Parliament of Tasmania reneged on the promises made by the early Tasmanian government. For many years afterwards, the Risdon Cove was terribly neglected and the most valuable archaeological sites deteriorated. Nonetheless, it was open to the public and all were welcome to visit the area. In the late 1970s and 80s, the then Labor government under Premier Nielsen redeveloped the site and planned it for it to become an important historical destination for all people and for tourists. However, in 1995, Ray Groom, wanting to offload the site and having no appreciation of its historical significance, gave it to Mr. Mansell's group made of his friends and family. Since then, the historical memorial has been repeatedly vandalised. Nothing's been done by the state government or the various state-funded heritage bodies to protect it, repair it, let alone promote it. In 2006, Scott Gadd, Secretary of the Department of Tourism, Parks and Heritage, stated to me in a letter, and I quote, that Risdon Cove is no longer an historical site, end of quote. He was talking of arguably the most important, at least one of the most important historical sites in Australia. 200-year-old walls, huts and foundations have been left to deteriorate or have been vandalised. Settler huts, which were restored some years ago, have also been vandalised, even to the point of being burnt down. Tasmania Aboriginal Council view the place as a place of invasion and issue angry statements against the whites and the British, regardless of their own mixed racial heritage. This has nothing to do with the original inhabitants of Tasmania, nothing to do with culture, but everything to do with modern racial politics. The year 2003 should have seen the 200th anniversary of Tasmania celebrated. The state Labor government refused to acknowledge it. Premier Jim Bacon said that it would be offensive to the Aboriginals to do so. Risdon Cove is unique and now no one visits it. Those that would are made to feel unwelcome. The early memorial is falling into disrepair. No sign on public ground is allowed by the state Tasmanian government informing the public of its existence or the existence of the priceless historical site. Tasmanian Aboriginal Council has refused any approach to have the memorial moved to a safer site. The land at Risdon Cove was given to the Tasmania Aboriginal Council at no cost, and the legislation is very liberal. They do not pay rates to the local council, which is in Clarence. They can shut down the place whenever they want to. But money to the Tasmania Aboriginal Council keeps on coming in from the taxpayer. By legislation, the public can visit the site during daylight hours by adhering to designated portions of the site. The Tasmanian Aboriginal Council, however, can erect a barrier at its entrance any time they wish to, thus blocking off the entrance to anyone they choose not to admit. When one is there, one is confronted by provocative signs, most historically incorrect. The site, because of its historical importance, should not be entrusted to any particular private body, but should be operated and managed by the state Tasmanian government for all people, no matter what their origins. This unique Australian site is passing into oblivion, as though the settlement never happened.